Hey there, welcome back to my channel. Today, I want to dive into something that profoundly affects many people: trauma and its impact on our lives. Whether it's from an event in childhood, a relationship, or a life-altering experience, trauma shapes the way we see the world and ourselves. If you're someone who's ever struggled with the lingering effects of trauma, or if you just want to understand it better, stick around because this video is for you. When we talk about trauma, we need to understand how deeply it affects the mind and the body. Imagine this: a traumatic event happens, and the memory of it doesn't just fade away. It gets stuck, replaying itself over and over again like an unwanted film you can't stop watching. These flashbacks are like emotional time machines that take you back to the worst moments of your life, making it almost impossible to move forward. The problem with these flashbacks is that, unlike the traumatic event itself, which has a clear beginning, middle, and end, these flashbacks feel like they never stop. It's as though time stands still. Healing from this is crucial, but before that can happen, we have to understand it better. Now, one tool that's been used to study trauma's impact is the Rorschach test. You know, the ink blot test. This test is more than just a quirky psychology experiment. When people are shown these ink blots and asked what they see, their answers can tell a lot about their emotional state. For many veterans, these images trigger vivid, painful memories of war. Instead of seeing something neutral like butterflies or flowers, they might see violence, reflecting how their trauma has distorted the way they view the world. Others might see nothing at all, like their imagination has shut down completely. Both reactions give us insight into how trauma impacts how we interpret everything around us. But here's the thing: imagination is a huge part of how we navigate life. It allows us to dream, to create, to explore new possibilities, and to connect with others. Without it, the world feels like a much smaller, darker place. When someone is stuck in trauma, their imagination becomes limited. They can't dream of a different future, and they begin to feel trapped in their past. For instance, someone who has survived an assault might see every stranger as a potential threat, even when there's no real danger. This constant state of fear and mistrust makes it almost impossible to engage with the world in a meaningful way. Relationships also change after trauma. People who've been through horrific events often feel like no one else truly understands what they've been through. This can lead to isolation. Sometimes they'll only trust others who've experienced similar pain. While bonding with others who understand can be healing, it can also create a divide between them and the people closest to them. Take veterans, for example. They often form strong bonds with fellow soldiers, but might struggle to connect with family members who can't fully grasp the depth of their experiences. This sense of isolation makes the healing process even harder. Historically, trauma wasn't fully understood by medical professionals. Veterans, for example, were often misdiagnosed with conditions like depression or substance abuse because their behaviors didn't fit into a clear category. This led to ineffective treatments. Medications or talk therapy often missed the mark, failing to address the root cause of their suffering. Sometimes even encouraging someone to revisit their trauma without the right support could make things worse, triggering more intense flashbacks instead of helping them heal. Then, in 1980, everything changed with the introduction of post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD, as a formal diagnosis. PTSD gave a name to the overwhelming symptoms that many trauma survivors were dealing with: flashbacks, emotional numbness, and heightened alertness. For the first time, there was a framework for understanding and treating how trauma disrupts lives. PTSD was a game changer. It allowed for new research, new therapies, and a more effective way to support people who had experienced profound horror and helplessness. Now, here's the important part. Understanding PTSD and trauma is not just about recognizing symptoms. It's about understanding how trauma fundamentally changes the way people think, feel, and experience the world. Healing is not just about managing symptoms. It's about helping people reconnect with themselves, their imagination, and the people around them. Because when you lose the ability to imagine a different future, hope fades. But when we work through it with time and support, healing becomes possible. Thank you so much for watching. If you found this video helpful, make sure to like, subscribe, and share with someone who might need to hear this. Healing is possible, and understanding trauma is the first step in the process. If you're going through this, know that you're not alone. Until next time, take care of yourself and don't forget to check in with your mind and body. See you soon.